Hey everyone, it's John Brown, the one, doot, 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 and only Bandana Gamer, and we are back with Contravania. It has been a while, but Contravania is the show where we bring together things we love to talk about them with amazing people. And today I am joined by two of the most amazing people on YouTube. Honestly, in my opinion, it's probably why YouTube exists, for these two guys. I'm going to start off with the newbie to the show, a first-timer, if you will, and that is Ratboy Collectibles. Hey, Ratboy. Ratboy, do we call you your, like, real human name normally, or, like, is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Devin, Ratboy Collectibles. He is on TikTok, he's on YouTube, Twitter, he's in your dreams. Devin, what's going on, man? How is life going your way?
Pretty good. Just had a nice shopping day out with the little one. Visited IKEA for the first time, and been playing Pokemon like crazy since it came out.
Oh, nice. Which version did you go with?
I got the double pack. Destiny's got Platinum, or whatever, the one with Palkia on it, and I have Diamond.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Devin, Ratboy Collectibles, huge Nintendo guy, huge video game in general guy. As you can tell from the lovely shelf behind him, but his channel is a lot of him unboxing, talking about his collecting. He also gets a lot of toys. Guy is a miracle worker when you're looking for toys. Like, hey, Devin, apparently Walgreens has this exclusive Power Ranger toy, and I can't find it here. 5 minutes later, hey, John, I got it. But he's generally a good guy, and just had a little one a couple of months ago. She's an amazing little one. I've got to meet her in person. One of the highlights of my year. So that is Ratboy Collectibles. He's awesome. But let us move on for right now and bringing up 8Bitglitch79, the man with the plan. My partner of this dynamic duo in Contravania. He puts the Contra in the Contravania. 8-Bit, what's going on, my friend?
Not much. Just having a blast here. I've been playing actually a lot of. I know we're gonna be talking about not to give away your intro or spoilers for Xbox, but I've been playing a lot of Vita lately. So.
Oh, like the exact opposite of an Xbox.
Yes.
What have you been hitting up on Vita, my friend?
I've been playing the game Unmetal, which I picked up at Too Many Games, the physical copy. It's digital on Switch right now, if anyone's interested, but it's a very fun throwback to Metal Gear on the NES, with a lot of comedy thrown into it. So it's a pretty hilarious storyline, and it's just fun gameplay. I'm having a blast.
If you had found some way to throw the word Contra into that, I would say that is like the most you-sounding game I have ever heard of. Comedy and Metal Gear on an obscure video game system. Like that's Sean in a nutshell right there. So Sean is, let's see, you're primarily an NES is like your favoritist of favorites, right?
Yes. Yep.
And let's see, and then you're also, your second baby is the Switch right now.
Yes.
So,
I just reached just over the 200 mark now on Switch titles, physical. So chipping away.
Nice. Devin, have you counted like how many Switch games you're at?
I'm think about almost 180.
Oh wow! All right, so the arms race. I need to count. I have no idea.
Get past you.
So, Devin, what did you say? What you're playing right now?
190.
What?
No, I was playing
Pokemon
Diamond. I just started. I'm only about like 40 minutes into it. I was playing the last couple days the Halo Infinite multiplayer, which is mad fun. Like, I honestly never expected to like it, because I the last time I really was crazily into Halo was Halo 2, and kind of fell off a little bit. I mean, I still dabbled in them, but not that good, but I still like it. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. And, of course, I'm Bandana Gamer. I'm doing well. None of y'all asked. It's a little hurtful. But no, things are going here. The household's going through some changes that maybe someday we will talk about on this show. I'm not sure. I have an NDA in some ways. But it's been awesome. It's been an awesome experience. And video game wise, I have been playing a lot of Forza. Forza Horizon 5 has come out. It's come out on Xbox Game Pass. Here's the lovely Forza controller. That game, oh my gosh, it's one of the first things that I've like, oh, we are at a different graphical space, and it is making me appreciate all the little neat tricks that these new systems can do. And then also, I'm like Devin, I picked up the Pokemon Double Pack. Hopefully someone in my house will pick up the other game so I won't feel like I, needlessly bought an unnecessary Pokemon game. But now I've got to get to 200, so that just helps me with my race to 200 to catch up with 8-bit. And yeah, I've been enjoying the new Pokemon. I'm about 5 or so hours in. I've gotten 2 badges. Not that it's a contest, but it's been a lot of fun. It definitely is a very nostalgic Pokemon game and feels very old school Pokemon. And on top of that, it really also feels reminiscent of the Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening remake. Like it's got both of those vibes, and so those are some of my favorite games. So, but let's move on. Like Mr. Glitch79 said, we are here to talk about the Xbox because the Xbox is 20 years old. Here's the official 20th anniversary controller. Just so you know you're old, they made a controller that has 20 on it.
We got Bandana here flexing all the special edition controllers here, making me feel bad.
I ended up getting
with
that
my
one
standard
too.
ones.
Devin, you picked Devin. Devin, you want to talk about your Xbox Series X before we get into the nitty gritty of all this?
Sure.
Tell us which one you just picked up.
I ended up, luckily, somehow, not sure how I even got so lucky, but I got the pre-order for the Halo Infinite Edition, and it's truly very beautiful. I'm happy with it a lot.
Nice.
I noticed that there's this little Easter egg if you use a blacklight on the front of it. So that's an interesting thing. It shows the symbol, I guess, like the runic symbol I want to use for the Halo that the Halo Infinite is based on.
Nice.
If you only see it with a blacklight on the front, which is pretty neat little touch.
Huh.
So I now have this image that anything comes into your house, you just wave black lights over it.
I saw a video about it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go try this.
No, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you were able to pick that up. You are officially the first person that I know of that has both of the next gen consoles. You have the PS5, you have the Xbox Series X.
Well, the PS5 was all you're doing. I would have never gotten a hold of it, bro.
Well,
Still would.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Blush. You flirt, you. No. But, so you are the most firmest in the next gen. Before we get to the subject, what is your favorite next gen game right now?
At the moment, for the PS5, it's got to be Returnal.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were going to say.
I played unholy amount of time on that one. It's so good. For the Xbox Series X yet, I haven't really dabbled past Halo Infinite.
I was about to say,
I did download the Senua's Sacrifice. I forget the full title of that game.
Oh, Hellblade.
Hellblade, that's the one.
Sequel to that is...
Because it's updated to be able to look really well on the Series X, so
yeah.
I'm planning on trying that soon.
And the sequel is coming out, I guess, in 2 years or so, and it looks really
It's such a good game. I played it on the original Xbox One X that I have, and it's really pretty, so I'm excited to see what it looks like on this.
Nice. Well, that being said, Xbox, 20 years old. Who here feels ancient?
Yeah.
I didn't even register it was that old until I'm thinking, like, holy crap. Like, I remember my brother bringing over his original Xbox so I could play Halo on it when he first moved out. Like, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was y'all's first experiences with Xbox? Sean?
Well, I got the OG Xbox when it first came out. First of all, I was like, what a tank this thing is. I know they're saying now the PS5 is pretty hefty. I've heard like it's like a box of bricks when you're picking it up. But that's how the OG Xbox felt. I remember that clearly. It's to this day, every time I move it, it's just amazing. This thing could, if this thing fell from like a 2-story building, it would probably kill somebody.
Dude, if that thing fell 6 feet, it would kill someone if they were under it. Like,
yeah,
that thing's jagged too. You cut a finger off on that thing.
But yeah, I just remember the Halo being the biggest thing that just wowed me, and I just had a blast playing, and so that's my greatest memory of my first dive into Xbox for sure. Was being impressed by that Halo, yeah.
So where were you in life when the Xbox came out? If you want to age yourself,
where was I in life? I was in college. Just roughly starting college, maybe about 2 years in or so.
Okay.
I went on the 7-year college plan for a 4-year degree, so
nice.
Changing majors here and there. So I was in probably my 2nd year of college of my 7 years.
You Van Wildered it, so
yes, yeah.
So did y'all do the LAN stuff since you were into Halo? Like, were y'all that level of nerd?
No, I never experienced the LAN aspect of Halo or Xbox, unfortunately. So that's something that I wish I had. That would have been really cool. I didn't know a lot of people that had an Xbox, to be honest, at the time I had one. So,
nice. Devin, you talked about your brother. Was that your first experience with the OG Xbox?
Yeah, like he bought it and then brought it over all the time when he moved out originally when he had to come back to do laundry or something like that. And Halo was the first game I played. But when I got my own, this was the first thing that I ended up getting and kind of solidified my love for the original Xbox.
So talk us about, so that's the Suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So talk us through what made you love the Suffering so much and made you love the original Xbox because of it.
I don't know, just back in that era, it was like one of the first, besides like Silent Hill and stuff, which you guys know I loved. It was really the first horror game that I got crazily into. Like, I liked Silent Hill at the time, but it's never something that I physically played up until like the last few years. So the Suffering, just the overall aesthetic of it, and the monsters always interested me because I just thought they were really super creepy. That's really, really it.
I mean, let's see, I'm trying to think. My first experience with the Xbox, let's see, it came out. Oh, Devin, how old were you? You're the baby of the group.
I was just trying to calculate that. If it came out in 2001, I was 11 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 11 years old. And there's sometime in elementary school.
Oh my god! I love you as a brother, but that just made me hate you just a smidge. And like Sean's over here, like, back in my day, we didn't have Xboxes.
We had to walk 10 miles up the hill.
We had just gotten the J box, and we were happy. We had so many more letters to go to. I think I was a junior in high school because I was junior in high school. It came out the same year as the GameCube, and I went GameCube first off, and I had a PS2. My interest in PS2 was starting to wane after Final Fantasy X came out, and actually my interest in video games was starting to wane. And I went to college, and my college roommate was super into Halo. Like, they did the LAN stuff. Like, I'd come in, like, Xboxes, multiple TVs across multiple dorm rooms were all hooked up to the LAN network. Mm-hmm. And they were all playing Halo and, double kill. I was just like, didn't we do this already with Unreal Tournament? Like, haven't we, like, crossed this? But I do now kind of see, like, oh, that being a console thing and how much the Xbox brought console or PC stuff to the console, we might talk about. But the thing that finally got me, I think it was my sophomore year of college, was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And I was like, role-playing game? Nintendo, or Star Wars, you say? And so my mom had moved when I went to college, and so like my PlayStation was in a storage unit, and I went and got my PlayStation 2 and a Like, all the games I have, including the PS1s, and that's the one that kills me. And I went up to GameStop to see if I could make a trade, and I was able to trade for a original Xbox and get a bunch of games. A bunch of games. It was one of like my best GameStop trades ever, and I can't remember what I got other than I did get Knights of the Old Republic, which is what I wanted to play on it, and God, I loved that game. And I played through. I don't think I ever beat it. I remember getting my lightsaber and feeling very accomplished in the world that I had gotten that experience, and then going through the Halo campaign for the first time. So, Shawnee boy, what games stick out to you on Xbox? Like original platform?
Oh boy, on the original, the OG one.
Yeah.
Let me look back, 'cause it's like, wow, because it's hard to think, because Halo always just sticks out there. Well, I remember playing like a lot of that's on that console was the one I played the Max Payne series on, and I just loved that. I'm a big action movie kind of guy.
Yeah.
Grow up in the 80s, you know, Arnold and Stallone and my boys, you know. So, but then I got into like the martial arts stuff and the John Woo films and all that stuff. So that bullet time stuff, like really, like I was like, this is kick ass, and the Matrix and all that. So being able to do all that, like leaping out slow mo and take out like a room of guys before you even hit the ground, was just thrilling to me. It was like, it's like, this is my childhood dream, you know?
I remember a friend showing me an advertisement for that, and we were so impressed with how Max Payne looked. Like, oh my gosh, he looks super real. And now it's like, that guy's blocky. That guy is super blocky. And that's actually, tying into the news of all the Xbox 20th anniversary. They did their... I'm just going to call it an Xbox Direct. I don't know what to call any video presentation on the internet from the company. I'm just going to call it blank Direct. So the Xbox Direct to celebrate the 20th, and they brought out 70 more backwards compatible. I think 76 more backwards compatible, and this is the end of backwards compatibility. But it's original Xbox and 360, and all the Max Paynes are now playable on your Series system or your Xbox One. Are you, Sean? Are you going to go back? Or are you going to throw the disc in the Series X?
It's kind of putting a nudge in me to kind of try to pop that in and check it out and see how much it can be improved per se. But yeah, definitely tempted to do that.
Yeah, that's always such a coin toss. Like, there's old school games you love, and like you throw them in a newer system with higher resolution. You're like, ooh, I need to go get a CRT real quick. Hold up. But then there's some that look freaking amazing. The Star Wars Battlefront games, the original Battlefront, not the EA Battlefronts. Like, my wife adores those on backwards compatibility, and she's been playing. She plays those all the time.
Oh, that's great! Yeah,
yeah. And
I know I replayed through Black on my Xbox One, and that looks amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they did anything more to it for the Series X, but I only played it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I think a lot of, I don't know. I don't think everything, but I think a lot of stuff has at least gotten frame boost, like frames per second boost. So they should look crispy, buttery smooth.
Yeah.
Hey Devin, now that you got your Series X, you've had your One X, has there been anything on backwards compatibility that you've loved from the back catalog of Xbox?
Well, I haven't actually looked at what's compatible or what I could actually play at the moment, so I'm going to probably look that up after we get off.
The big one that made me think of you was Munch's Odyssey, which was that was one of those games that the Xbox stole, or Microsoft stole. There was all kinds of advertisements. It was coming to PlayStation 2, and then Microsoft came out and swooped it up and got it as an exclusive. Which that's one of those. That was one of those like shots fired because that game was so associated with the PlayStation.
I don't even have that many original Xbox games. I have Doom 3, I have The Suffering, and that's about it, actually.
Well,
I don't have any more.
You own an Xbox Series X, sir. You now have to start working on all of that.
Yeah.
You now need to get back on that.
First thing is I want to find some games that are actually like well optimized or specifically made for that, besides like Forza and stuff like that, to see how they really, really look.
Yeah.
And I'm still seeing the original Xbox prices of games is still pretty affordable. They haven't really, like, even with the backwards compatibility being a thing, I haven't really seen prices of those really increase or pretty.
I noticed
they've been
that
pretty level.
The original Xbox, they don't. Like, I have original Xbox copy of Silent Hill 4, and that's still like $40.
Yeah.
PS2 easily almost like $100 last time I checked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's just not a big Xbox collecting fan base. I don't know, like, but yeah, you're right. Like, Xbox prices, like, even on the 360s, there's not a lot of to use.
Even this is pretty pricey on other consoles. On the Xbox, I think I got this for $7.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. To use some Sean vernacular, there's not a lot of bangers on the Xbox. I think the King of Fighters Neo something I think is like one of the most expensive backwards compatible games, and I found
Futurama.
Oh yeah, Futurama.
I picked that one.
You picked that up.
Yeah.
Did you get Futurama at Siege?
Yes, I got that. That was one of the bangers I got at Siege for the Xbox.
Nice. So let me ask you, Sean. Did you play Futurama?
I played a little bit of it, and I actually played it on my 360 because it's backwards compatible only on the 360. It appears.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I could the licensing.
I mean, I have original Xbox.
Yeah,
but I, played it on the 360 and it worked. So
yeah. I was going to ask you, did you use the Duke to play your banger? Xbox game.
Is that an original Duke, or is that the one that's made for the Xbox One?
No, this is an actual Duke. The one for the Xbox One, this is actually on that is actually a screen.
Oh, okay.
And when you turn it on, it will do the little Xbox boot up.
That's the one thing that I always used to love about that console: the creepy sound in the background of the boot menu, and also how the memory never went down.
Oh,
no matter how many games you put on it, the memory stayed 50,000 blocks plus.
It was a PC. Like up until that point, every console had kind of been a unique hardware architecture, and Microsoft just went, "Hey, we're going to go get PC parts, and we're going to put a big honking hard drive," which I think was 8 gigabytes at the time.
I loved that it always stayed 50,000 blocks plus, and it never went down.
And it was just there. Like there was no, like, there were memory cards for it. I don't know what they were for.
I think that would be like going over someone's house. You want to bring your save over, kind of thing, because there was no other way to put a thumb drive in.
Yeah.
I also loved the breakaway controllers. How that was the only thing that had that.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch. I mean, Microsoft, they went in pretty hard on this system. I mean, and I think it lost them billions of dollars, the first Xbox.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember I think it was like an E3 or something when they came out with like the fact that they were making the Xbox and they had that weird like obelisk looking X thing sitting on the stage?
Yes. Yeah.
That was so weird.
The whole OG Xbox to me is such a testament to the late 90s, early 2000s. Like that green, even the X. Calling it Xbox, like, because at that point in time, everything was extreme.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to know what the late 90s were, like, watch a DVD on Woodstock 99 and play the Xbox, and that's the experience right there. Such a new metal console. Well, we're about to move on because we got a lot of Xbox to cover, and time is of the essence. Any final Xbox OG Xbox things we want to bring up or talk about?
Not at the moment, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, the Duke controller. I remember holding that for the first time and being like my God, like this thing is like a console size itself. You know?
yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of the Xbox falling on somebody, well, you don't want to whip that thing or hit somebody upside the head with it because you probably take them out.
No. I'm trying to think. I think when I got my Xbox, it actually was after the the S controller revisions, and so I've
only gotten an S controller for the first time like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I've always played on the Duke,
nice,
and never experienced the S until I finally got one in like a game lot I bought of Xbox games off Facebook, and it included a controller, and it was the S one. And I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
this is a little bit more manageable.
And the S is basically, I mean, it's like these very clear relative to Xbox is now tried and true standard. But yeah, they went hardcore with the Duke.
I like the weird, like they did the weird white and black button thing. That was like I thought that was strange when I first saw it. I'm like, what was the idea behind that? A white and a black button. You have all these X, Y, A, B, and then a black and white button. Like whose idea was that? Like, and it was so awkwardly placed.
Yeah, I think they moved it.
Oh, and then they moved it on the S.
Yeah, the S revision of the controller. All right, so yeah, the Duke controller was nuts. The system, I mean, it had heavy Sega support in the get-go, which was really cool. It was a neat little moment in time. I really appreciate. I think looking back, if I picked my personal favorite of the two, I would choose the Xbox over the PS2. I think that's where I finally kind of like get off the PlayStation hype train. But moving forward to what generally I think to be the most popular, especially stateside of the Microsoft consoles, the Xbox 360 launched. The big thing that everyone was waiting for was Halo 3. The game I remember it launching because MTV did a special on it. It was Perfect Dark, and we can talk about if we thought Perfect Dark was successful. And actually, that brings up a bigger point: Microsoft buying Rare. Quick thoughts on that one. So, do y'all think Microsoft ruined Rare?
Ruined it? I wouldn't say ruined it.
Yeah, I would say ruined.
They didn't use it to its potential. I mean, when they made Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, it was a relatively fun game, but you can tell that it was a far distance from what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, what do you think? Did Xbox ruin?
I think it necessarily ruined it to a point of complete ruin.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely changed the landscape, I feel, of the Rare development.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was different.
Yeah.
It was very different. For the better or for the worse, could be up to opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was that terrible.
Yeah. That is something that Microsoft, I think, gets a lot of bad press for, is destroying Rare. But I've actually been researching the owners and the CEO, the guys who ran Rare in the Nintendo days. They got their Microsoft money and bounced. Like they just left. Like, so the main guys that drove those initiatives were gone. Like, so you just kind of had a title. So I feel like maybe that Microsoft isn't to blame as much as people want to put them on that. Give them grief for that. But and there's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing Rare doing now. That I think they're kind of on an uptick. So only time will tell. But let's get to the 360. Devin, what was your first memories of the 360? How old were you when the 360 came out?
I don't know what year that was. I can't remember.
2006?
Okay, so it would have been 16, just a hair before high school. And it's always a horror game because the first game I played was Condemned Criminal Origins on the 360. I love that game so much.
Sean, what about you?
2006. I was a few years into my out of college career. I didn't have one when it first came out. I was on I was a big PlayStation 2. I know you just talked before about the Xbox, PlayStation 2, GameCube. I had them all. I had all
Yeah.
three. But I like leaned a lot towards the PlayStation 2, and that's because of a lot of the certain exclusives they had. So I kind of leaned heavily onto the PlayStation, and because of that, I jumped on the PlayStation 3 hype.
Okay.
And went down that rabbit hole. And then at that point, I was kind of slowing down with gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming started to become a real party event. I only gamed when I had a lot of people over, and it was a lot of like rock band kind of things and stuff like that, where a lot of us could do things together. And then I remember one night we're playing, and then I said, I wonder what the Xbox 360 is like. And it has already been out for a while, because this is where they were doing the arcade packs.
Yeah.
The machines, they called it like the arcade pack or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like the low, like, what was it, like a couple gig or something only?
I think it had like 4 gigs
like
of flash memory, if I remember
something
correctly.
like that. Yeah. And it was the old, like the gray on the side,
the fatty
hard drive thing.
Yeah, the fatty that you could attach that hard drive.
And I said to the wife, I said, I wonder what an Xbox 360 is like, because I hadn't played one. And she goes, and my wife, being the loving and supporting person that she is, she said, well, why don't we just go get one right now?
Nice.
So we hopped in the car, drove to GameStop, and that's what they had. And so I bought that system and started playing it. And I think the first thing I played was Army of Two on it. Again, it's because Metal Gear-ish, you know me, third person shooting is like my jam. I love playing. So I remember playing that, and then Brutal Legend, which was it wasn't just an exclusive, but it was on PlayStation as well. But I remember playing that as well as my first go around with Xbox 360. But again, I was still kind of just like, Xbox 360. And I leaned more towards the PlayStation still at that time. I only kind of started exploring the 360 in the last probably 4 years or so. And collected very heavily, as you can see behind me.
Yeah.
Because GameStop was just like, you want some 360 games? They're like throwing them in the bag as you're buying that Switch here. Have some 360 games, because they're like $2 a piece. You know? So I just they would do the whole like buy two get two free. So you spend like $5, you end up with like 6 games.
You end up with like a whole game library.
Yeah. So
and
I mean, there's stuff on that shelf that I got like a couple bucks. I haven't even tried them yet. They're on the backlog.
Oh no! Like my 360 library has exploded in this last year, because you go in a thrift store and that's what you find. Like there is so much and great 360 stuff, because there's some really good things on that system. For me, I came to the 360. I just graduated. I was in my first big boy job, and I was like, it took me 3 months, and I put a little money aside each month, each paycheck, and I was like, I'm a big boy. I can go make a big purchase now. Yeah. And so I went to GameStop, and I got that, and I got a 20 gig hard drive to go with it. And I got Perfect Dark, which that was okay. I mean, I was waiting for Halo 3 to come out, because I really love the Halo campaigns, like in that intermittent period, like the lead up. Like I fell in love with the campaign for those games. I've never been huge on the multiplayer. I think actually Halo Infinite multiplayer is the most I have played of Halo multiplayer. But yeah, that was a really, really cool experience. And then Gears of War came out. And Gears, oh my gosh. Gears is my favorite Xbox thing. And it's just because it is such a meathead sci-fi. I mean, a machine gun with a chainsaw on it. Like that is just such a great experience. Like Devin, you like Gears, right?
Yeah, I do. The Xbox One X that I have is the Gears of War 3 or 4 edition, the black and red one.
Nice. So, what is it about Gears that you like?
It's pretty much just the over-the-top craziness of being able to chop an alien in half with a chainsaw gun. It's just so nuts.
And like Marcus Phoenix is such a cool character. He's such like He's like he's Wolverine with a chainsaw machine gun. Like that's what he is. Like,
and I love the fact that those wrestlers, the New Day, have like those costumes for the Gears characters.
Oh,
and they're actually in Gears 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you could get them if you have Game Pass. Like you could get them, and I picked them up and I think and Batista, Dave Batista is an addable skin for Gears 5, and that's so cool because that's one of those things like he's on like social media regularly advocating for wanting to play Marcus Phoenix, and it's like, yeah, you would be that guy. And so for them to like go, yeah, you would be that guy. And that's like Gears and Xbox in general is such a bro console. Like it's just so bro-y. I mean, because that's like, are y'all huge first-person shooter fans? Like, is that a genre for either of y'all? Like, what are your favorite first-person shooters, and how are they all on Xbox?
Sean.
Let's see. Well, I mean, first-person shooters favorites. Let's see, the Dooms, of course. Let's see, Black is obviously one of my favorites. The Bond ones, they're pretty good. I actually like Nightfire, and I played that, and so probably those are my favorites.
Nice.
Unreal Tournament was big, but that was PlayStation 2. I played that on.
Oh, that was like an OG PC experience for me. That was when I was learning like the internet could go fast. So, but yeah, I think I've got the Unreal Championship. I mean, that was a big thing with the original Xbox and 360. Yeah, so many things that had been bound to PC came to consoles. Like first person shooters had been kind of making some headway. Of course, there was GoldenEye. The Unreal Tournaments had console releases, but it was Halo. Like Halo made first-person shooters console games, and then Xbox Live really is what fueled Call of Duty to become what Call of Duty became. Like, it was kind of a niche thing on PC, but when Modern Warfare and it came and it was on Xbox Live, like I think Call of Duty, even though they have like deals with Sony, has remained higher selling on Xbox. So like before we like wrap this section, like 360 stuff. Any memories or anything that really...
Well, I will say the 360, and I don't know if it really happened before that, but the 360 is what really opened my eyes to a lot of the special edition consoles. It seemed like there was 100 of them.
Yeah.
And then the faceplates as well.
Yeah,
but
the faceplates.
But it kind of started with the faceplates, but then it started being like all the Modern Warfare different consoles, the Gears of War console, the Star Wars one, which is one I would like to get my hands on.
Oh, have you still not gotten that Star Wars one? Is that still?
I have not yet. No.
The Star Wars 360.
There's a 360 R2D2 one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one.
Another Captain rubs it in my face all the time because that's the one he bought.
I still have the C3PO controller with it too.
Oh.
I don't have an X that came with it because that got robbed from me, but still.
Yeah. I don't have a special edition console, but I do have the Halo Reach controller.
Oh, nice.
So,
that console opened that eyes to me. Yeah.
What was that, Devin?
I said, I'm obsessed with special edition consoles.
Let's see.
Do you want me to go grab the Halo one?
Go for it.
Okay.
Me and Sean will banter.
But definitely that console just opened my eyes to like the whole like special edition, like because the PlayStation 4 has some, but it doesn't have a lot, and the PS3 didn't really have any that I can think of. I can't
think of any. I mean, there's the special edition Spider-Man font that the first PlayStation 3s all had. Yeah. And let's see, for special edition PS4s, I know there's a Final Fantasy one.
Okay. There was a Batman one, the Final Fantasy, God of War, Spider-Man. I feel like there's some more. I just can't think of them.
All right, but let's see this beautiful box.
Yeah.
Where's your black light? Because I don't believe you. Oh my gosh, you are a nerd.
Oh my god, yeah.
I wasn't kidding. It's
You
kind of
look
weird,
so happy about like that. That's such a that is. They're continuing the trend. Like,
and then they got the
20th
Oh my
anniversary on the
god.
back.
I saw like the top of the normal one, how it has that green color. This one has blue.
Nice.
Oh,
It is
okay.
really.
I'm
beautiful.
jealous now. I want to trade mine in and get that one now.
that is a pretty Xbox. And well, before we
Pretty
like
pretty.
move to the one, like I will share because Sean got all sweet on me. My happy spouse 360 moment. I had gotten rid of my 360 a while back, and I just moved on and wasn't collecting for it. And we had been at a Goodwill, and the Goodwill had this S-style Xbox 360 with Batman Arkham City, Street Fighter 4, FIFA, a Kinect, 2 controllers. For like there was 10 games, and they were good games, and 2 controllers, like charging packs for the controllers, and it was the 250 gig model. It was $60 for everything, and I was like, oh.
Ooh.
But it was Christmas time, and I'm like, I don't need to be selfish right now. And I was like, I kept like agonizing and saying stuff to my wife. I was like, I'm gonna go up to the Goodwill and just grab that. I should have grabbed it. And she's like, no, don't do that. And like, and then I go up one day and it's gone. I'm like, okay, well, it is better to have seen a beautiful console in the wild. And we get to my birthday, and I go to unwrap. My birthday is December 23rd. Like, I am right there at Christmas. And I unwrap like her gift, and it is like half of the games from that set that I saw, and I was like, you didn't. And like she brings out another box, and I open it, and it's the Xbox. And then I got the rest of the games on Christmas. But it was such a fun moment to have an Xbox 360 again, and to have this cool slim, because the slim revisions.
Mm-hmm.
They made the 360 sleek. I mean, it was a cool system, but it was not pretty.
Yeah.
It was not that's
I
kind of
don't
a
really
question.
know
Like,
what the original one looked like right now. Now that I think of it, because I've had a slim for so long.
yeah, has there ever been a like pretty launch Xbox system?
Yeah.
I mean, I like how the original looks, and I will say I think the Series X looks freaking awesome, even if it's not fancified like Devin's. I actually think that like less is more aesthetic is pretty cool. I mean, it looks like a little PC tower. I think it's very minimalist. But so let's move on to Xbox One. When did you jump on the Xbox One train? Because most everybody, they did terrible marketing. They first said it was going to be online. You had to be online to play. You had to have you couldn't trade games. You couldn't borrow games from a friend. The head dude of Xbox at that time just came across as like a jerk rich guy. Is like, but what if people don't have good internet connections? He's like, well, they can play the 360. Like, so you're like telling people not to buy your product? Yeah. That would all get fixed because Phil Spencer gets involved. But they really ate it. And they included the Kinect, which made it $100 more than the PlayStation 4, which came along and ate the Xbox One's lunch. Like, that contest isn't even a contest. So when did you jump on the Xbox One?
Yeah, so I was PlayStation 4 first.
Mm-hmm.
I was on that train. And then what got me, I got the Xbox One S. So I didn't jump on it until that came out. And I got it for Christmas. And my wife got it for me. And because I kept saying, I want to play Cuphead. So it was Cuphead that got me to get the Xbox One. Yeah. So she got me that and the little card because it's no physical to download Cuphead, and that was again Christmas probably 2019.
Nice.
When did the S come out? Or 2018? 18 or 19?
No,
Something like
the
that.
S came out 2016.
Yeah, the S has been out for a while.
S was 2016.
Okay.
X was 20.
It's called Old Man Brain.
It's either 2016 or 2017. I want to say it was 2016.
Okay, maybe it was 2018. Again, it was out for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the tail end there.
Okay.
So, but definitely Cuphead was what sold me to get one because I wanted to play that really bad.
Yeah. And I mean, that was like Microsoft's like, we have an exclusive. One day it'll be out. Please, please, we have an exclusive. Like, because they lost so much. Like, Crackdown's development went to heck.
Mm-hmm.
Halo 5 came out and it was kind of a snooze fest, or just didn't deliver on any of the things. And they had a huge string of bad luck for a company. And Dragon Scale, I think, was the big RPG they were trying, like Monster Hunter-esque RPG, and it just... I think they were working with Platinum, and that they ended up canceling that. They canceled the Fable game they were working on, closed the Fable studio. So yeah, Cuphead. That's like what people were looking forward to at E3. Like, hey, at least show us that cool animation game.
Yeah.
So, Devin,
yeah,
what?
That's why I kept on the PlayStation train, is because like I said, I finally got the Xbox 360, played a little bit, but it was like there's nothing pulling me in that direction. Whereas PlayStation's like, look at all this cool new shiny titles we got and franchises and stuff. So that's what kind of, burst my Xbox bubble,
They swung hard with PlayStation 4, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Like, Xbox got eat up that round. Like, there's just no denying that. Like, Nintendo came back and ate them even more.
Yeah.
So, like, Devin, when did you jump on the one?
I ended up getting the Day 1 edition, or whatever they called it back in that time.
Oh, wow.
Mainly because I wanted to play, what's it called? Dead Rising 3?
Oh, yeah, that was a launch game, right?
I played Dead Rising 3 for months. I really, really enjoyed that game.
So what was it about Dead Rising 3 that made you really like it? Like, what gripped you about it?
Yeah, well, the ability, you can go online with people and tinker around, and it was kind of sandbox-ish. Even though Dead Rising, the mission style where they get like, oh, you have to do this within X amount of hours or you're screwed, or this person dies, yada yada yada. I just liked being able to go and take like massive cars and putting weapons on them and just bowling over like hordes of zombies. I enjoyed the crap out of that game.
Yeah, nice. So
and then they also released this like weird arcade like DLC for the game, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I forget what that was called. It had like an obnoxious name, but it was really fun.
Nice, dude. I didn't know you were Day 1, man. Do you still have that?
Yeah, for like Day 1 for pretty much all of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
Besides this one is the only one that I didn't get Day 1.
Yeah, but waiting clearly worked out for you because you got that spiffy. Because you said from the get-go with that you were waiting for a variant to come out, and you got a pretty variant.
That's all because the whole thing is like, I love the Xbox, but the Series X didn't have any. I know the PS5 didn't have any specific exclusives either that were made specifically for the PS5. But Demon's Souls was like remade from the top, and I've never played it before, so that's why I wanted the PS5 so bad.
I'm not saying anything.
I know.
That's cool. So, do you still have like your Day 1? Did you get the Day 1 edition?
Yeah, the literal Day 1 edition of the Xbox One.
Do you still have that?
I sold it. I sold it when I wanted to get the Gears of War one, just because I thought it was prettier. And I also hated the original Xbox One when they came out because it had that really shiny area.
Oh,
I was trying to clean dust off of it with a really super soft dust cloth, and it looked like I rubbed 80 grit sandpaper over it, and I hated that.
Yeah,
absolutely. The PS4, the original PS4 did that too.
Yeah, that console was huge. Like, you want to talk about that one weighed.
Oh, that one was a beast.
Yeah, like you could do some damage with it. It was huge. I mean, because and they made it huge so it would have all that ventilation because they didn't want the red ring of death that had plagued the 360.
This thing's not exactly huge either, but it's heavy.
Yeah, well, they started with the One X. Like, if you've they're not huge, but if you lift them, they are like concentrated. They are hefty dudes. So for me, I was like, oh, I'm just not going to get into this generation. I'm only retro games, and I'll just do PC games. And something about the first E3 where they had come out, they came out with like Rare Replay, Halo Master Chief Collection, Gears of War remastered. Like, apparently you just have to sell me all your old games again. And I was like, oh, and then they did the thing where they dropped the Kinect and they dropped it to 400. And so I did the thing again. I set aside some money because I was a big boy. And so I think I actually worked a second job, like picked up hours at a game shop, not GameStop, a game shop, a play and trade. And just use that money to set aside and get the one, because I was like, that's going to be a cool console. And, exclusive, there was not many exclusives. But I still think I had a fun time with it. The Halos, I enjoyed Halo 5-ish. I had no idea what was going on. That story was super convoluted. But Phil Spencer came along, and the messaging behind Xbox has been better ever since. But what was your favorite Xbox One experience? Shawnee boy.
I'd have to be Cuphead. I gotta say, yeah, they got me with a retroist style game. You know what I mean? They pulled at my heartstrings.
I mean, yeah,
it just looked cool, and it's a running gun.
Cuphead is like Looney Tunes meets Contra. So that's kind of a Sean game. That's a very yeah. Once again,
and I couldn't. It's a game that was infuriating, but it's like one more time. I could do it the next time. I got it this next time, kind of thing. And I didn't want to stop until I conquered it, which I finally did. And it was like the most satisfying. I lit up a cigarette, asked the wife to make a sandwich. I was like,
you're ridiculous. Devin, what was your favorite Xbox One experience?
It's really got to be Dead Rising 3, because I played that for untold hours, and I just really liked the way that seemed to be, at the time, take hold of like that next gen power for the Xbox, just, and the way that like how many zombies can be on the screen and stuff. So much fun with that game.
Nice.
That'll be a fond memory of that original one.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say Gears. Like I said, with Gears 4 and 5 came out for that, and I loved where they went with the Gears mythos, and how they centered different characters. Marcus Phoenix became this like older sage character, and his son, and the woman character, I can't remember her name. Like, she becomes like the ultimate. She becomes the main character of Gears 5, and his son becomes a huge jerk. Or you learn some stuff about the son, but I loved the Gears. To me, pushed that system, and of course, we hit an era where architecture-wise, both systems were nearly the same thing. Few differences. So everything, other than company exclusives, really came out on both consoles, unless they paid the money to get them exclusives. And like I said, Phil Spencer came around and started. He got Microsoft to write a lot of checks, and they have bought a lot of studios. I don't know if you follow this, Sean. I know me and Devin kind of have talked about this. What has been the studio acquisition for Xbox that makes you the most excited?
The Bethesda, I think.
Dude, if you want to talk exclusives and grabbing Bethesda,
when I saw that, I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "Oh boy!" Now Xbox playing in the big playground.
I just still find it funny that like, hey, you guys, you want Fallout? You want Elder Scrolls? Like, they're dangling it over everybody.
Yep.
Like they just, when that sale got announced, I'm like, wow. I mean, because they had been purchasing a lot of Western studios, Obsidian, In Exile, Playground, Double Fine. Double Fine was a weird one. Like in Double Fine, that's once again like they went after somebody Double Fine had been announcing a lot of stuff of their stuff on PlayStation, and then they went, "Hey, we're going to Xbox now. Microsoft wrote us a big check." But yeah, and like that's the thing. Like they were able to do, I think, and y'all can disagree with me. Was Xbox able to take the trip up that was the one, but still generate excitement for what was to come?
I think so. Yeah.
You think so?
I'm very excited to see what's on the horizon here, because it's making me very excited to be an Xbox Series, Xbox in general owner now, or fanboy, if you will, or something. Just the excitement now that's could be, With PlayStation, you already know where it's going. You got your God of War. It's going to be God of War again. It's going to be all these things. Mm-hmm. But with Xbox now, it's like so much possibility that's there that we don't know yet, and it's kind of exciting.
What is Starfield? Bethesda's big next game from the Fallout and Skyrim team. Skyrim or Elder Scrolls is going to be there. Mm-hmm. Devin, what's got you excited about Xbox's future?
Well, the most number one, I actually kind of forgot about Starfield until you just mentioned it, but I am very interested about that potential of another Fallout game. Elder Scrolls, of course. I would be crazy not to say that. New Dooms that they could be dumping on. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Microsoft owns id now. They own because they got it through Bethesda. It is theirs. Doom. If there is a Doom 3, which I don't know, Eternal.
Rage. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, Rage.
Rage.
Yes.
There's. Oh gosh, and of course Forza continues to be great. And then there's to me there's exciting stuff where you can then think these teams all work for the same company now and can share stuff. 343 now has access to all of id Tech, and 343 being the Halo studio. Yeah, and Microsoft has started a new studio for Perfect Dark, so there's a new Perfect Dark coming out. Rare is getting to do more creative stuff than just rehashing back catalog, though. Hopefully one day there's a new Banjo thing. I know a lot of people Devin's age, the tender sweet early 30s, that want that banjo, that sweet banjo goodness.
Well, see what they did with Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation. Imagine that with Banjo, though. You know what I mean? That epic-y, that would be something. So that would draw some people.
Yeah. Well, and then we also were in a new phase where honestly the console isn't what matters. The Series X, Series S, how many are y'all on Game Pass?
Yeah.
How are y'all liking Game Pass?
I feel I'm not utilizing it as much as I should be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I need to get. It's the collector and the physical person of me that finds it hard to just sit there and just say, okay, I'm just going to download this and play it. And because there's been a couple of times when I've downloaded and played a game and I've just gone out and bought it, even though I forgot to download to play. It's because I like it. But I do like the idea of renting and being oh, this game, because there was a couple I've downloaded, played it, and I've given up after 30 minutes. I've been okay, this game is crap to me. I'm glad I didn't go out and buy it. And it's taking up shelf room, and it's a waste of money in a sense. You know what I mean?
It's been I agree. I think it's been a great way to test drive a lot of stuff as a physical collector myself. But I'm getting less and less as space continues. I've noticed space is not as infinite as my collecting desires are. So physical space. And I will say the first game I've really dove into on Game Pass has been Forza. And the fact that launched on Game Pass, and I'm just I can wait and let that disc drop in bid in price and still play the full game. And it's the first time I have not felt like I was cheating in some way on how I got that. Devin, have you done? You were looking forward to Back for Blood, right? That's Left 4 Dead 3, right? Have you played it much?
Not as much as I thought I was going to, but that's just because of everything else that exists at the same time. I have played it a bunch, though. It's a lot of fun. A little complicated compared to the other games, but I don't know. It does make it much more interesting that it was on Game Pass. I was able to try it there. I'm just waiting for, like you just said, drop in price, and I'll get the physical copy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And you brought up a point I was just going to say is it's just amazing that we're getting day one exclusives on this, you know, like service. It's like kind of mind bending, or for lack of a better term, that you can play these day one exclusive games like right off the bat, and you've only been paying like the $35 or whatever a month, and it's like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How do they pull that off? In my opinion, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But, well, I mean,
that's
cool.
Definitely
a huge gamble, but I think they won because I think they were gambling on the fact that more people are going to do it the more games we dump there the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, it generates excitement. You know, I've tried Flight Simulator. I would not have been likely to go spend $60 on Flight Simulator, even though it's a beautiful game, and it looks pretty on the Xbox. It's not really my thing, but I like, I think I think Game Pass is the best model for digital instead of like buying a la carte games for the same price as a physical. I think just, hey, here's my $15, give me the library. And if I stop giving you $15,
that it's both usable on the consoles and the PC, because that's my first real foray into it. I downloaded a bunch of PC games.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, that's, I have both Series X and Series S. And this, the Series S is on all digital because I have that down in my game room. And how much it syncs up with what's going on with the X, and without even trying anything. And I just, Game Pass has got me excited about the future of Xbox. I mean, and they are really touting that because now you can also play games through the cloud on your phone. It's still a part of that, currently a part of that $15 a month thing. I'm worried at some point they're going to start jacking that up because the value they give for the $15 a month is out of this world, because you can play games on your cell phone, you can play games on your tablet, on your console, on your PC. But I have to assume this is where the whole winning a console war gets to be a vastly different thing, because companies like these subscription services, because that just means there's a guaranteed amount of money they're going to get from you each time. And Game Pass has to have a higher attach rate for Xboxes sold than PlayStation Plus. Is that their stuff? Yeah. It does with PlayStation. I have to assume, like, if you have an S, there's no reason to have a Series S if you don't have Game Pass, in my opinion. So we're now all Xbox Series owners. Sean, this was the first time you went Xbox first.
Right.
What made you go Xbox first this time? Or was it you couldn't get a PlayStation 5?
Pretty much. It was the one I was able to get. So I went with the first, and you know what? And I'm happy. I can wait for a PS5. I keep telling myself I'm gonna wait till I can actually walk into a store and just be like, I'll take that PS5, please. Yeah. And I'm fine when that happens. And then I tell myself games will be cheaper by then. I can get a bunch of used PlayStation 5 games by then, like less than they are going now. Yeah. So, and there'll be more titles that I'll want to play. Just put it that way too.
What were you saying, Devin?
That still amazes me that we can't do that. We're over a year past all the releases of these two new consoles, and there's still nowhere to be found.
I mean, the world being the world right now, I'm not super surprised. I mean, also the Wii, it took like 2 or 3 years before. It
did not take this long.
Yes, it did. Oh, dude, I worked.
Not for me. I
got it at launch. But I mean, this didn't take for you the same. Like you've gotten both of them now within a year of launch.
Yeah, that was number one off of sheer luck of you, and somehow getting sheer luck on this one.
So
I never expected to get a hold of this. The fact that I did, I'm still amazed.
But yeah, I mean these things are super hard to get rid of, and that's another thing I think really works in Microsoft's favor with the Game Pass thing, because when they stop making games for the the Xbox One, I do want to concede as an Xbox fan, their naming convention sucks. I admit it.
Yes.
The Xbox One was the dumbest name in the history, and the Series X and S was not much better. I will fully concede, but they are trying to just market like, here's Xbox, and Xbox is the platform. But I mean, with like what I was about to say is with the service stuff, if people can't get their hands on consoles, they have this cloud route that the One can now like connect to and play the games. If you have a good enough internet connection, it can still play those games, and so like they have a broader base to get that stuff to, and so I will be very interested to see how those deals look at a later date, like how developers were getting paid for those. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with Sean. I went Xbox first this round. Though I went full in. I got the Series X and the Series S. I had the best luck of anybody with this console generation.
This guy's like, "Hey, you need a Series S?" Hey.
I got the Series S and
me.
Series X on launch, and I got Devin a PS5 before before 2021 hit. So like I just rolled those dice and just came out a winner. Actually, Bandana Gamer's just a bot in a human body. Like, that's all I am. No. But this has been a fun conversation, just working through Xbox 20 years. Final thoughts. What is it that you love about Xbox? I'm going to start with Devin and his pretty headband. Devin, what do you love about Xbox?
It's like Sean mentioned before, the overall special editions that they've had for this console are just immense. There's so many good ones, and I've had a lot of them, and I still love the fact that the R2-D2 console, just how creative their special editions are in general, is what I really love about them.
Shawnee boy, what do you love about Xbox?
You know what? I don't really have a good answer for that. It's
well,
I'm the fact that I could get one, I'm happy now. That I to be honest, I've seen more people getting the Xbox Series than PS5s.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I've even joked around and like I've been able to add ones to my cart, just checking to see whenever they drop, and it just seems like it's so much easier.
Yeah, that is true. Like, I ended up finding an original Series X when they first came out, trying to trade to get myself a PS5. That failed horribly. Yeah. So I selling it to somebody at a retail price because screw scalpers, and I just ended up waiting until John finally got mine. So,
I guess what I would say is my favorite thing is they care about the backwards compatibility. They answered the fans and they gave us what we wanted. Albeit it's a not exactly how we wanted. You got to download the game. This is a key, but at least you can do it. You know, and for select titles, where PlayStation just seems to not give a crap about their history or their old. I mean, wow, the PS5 can play PS4. Big whoop, in my opinion. I don't see what the big deal. Yeah. Wow, if you could let me play PS2 games. Awesome. Then I'll be happy, but I'm not. The fact that PS5 can play PS4 doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I honestly,
it's almost like expected.
I will say, I think if I do get a PS5, I mean, I expect like a console revision. I might get a slim one whenever that looks like and comes out in many years. I could easily see myself going all digital for the PS5. Like, I've got a PS4 to play the PS4 games. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, because this is an Xbox podcast right now. I'll say for me, I think a little bit, both of y'all, like, I really agree. I apparently seem to be really into variant controllers now. And I'm really excited about the future. I really like what Phil Spencer has brought to the table, like in what Sean said. I think Phil Spencer is the new Reggie Fils-Aimé. I think he is very much... He's a guy that worked his way up in the company. He is very much a game... Gives the impression he's a gamer at heart, but he has been very intentional with how Xbox has been. Backwards compatibility, Game Pass... And once again, the studios they've bought just makes me think there's some amazing stuff that is going to be just on Xbox. The upcoming Fables game from Playground, which is the Forza Horizon studio. And my gosh, that company can make an amazing open world. I cannot wait to see what they do with Fables. What Devin said, I hadn't even really thought about is that Doom is now exclusive to Xbox. Bethesda's working on an Indiana Jones game that looks like it'll be exclusive to Xbox. I just think it's the platform where, honestly, the future looks the best. Honestly, and that's just me. So, well, that's gonna wrap it up for this Contravania. It is good to be back. Hopefully, we'll get some more of these out before the end of the year. Want to thank my two lovely co-hosts and guests for this episode, Devin, Ratboy Collectibles. Tell us where we can find you.
Like John mentioned earlier, I'm on TikTok, Ratboy Collectibles, also on YouTube under the same name. I haven't really been playing around on YouTube lately, but I'm going to be jumping back on the bandwagon very soon. So right at the moment, I'm just basically on TikTok and YouTube. And
another plug for a good friend of ours, Devin has a Ratboy Collectibles video game Dustsleeve from Video Game Dustsleeves. I'll make sure to put a link to Video Game Dustsleeves in there. So make sure you go support his channel. Of course, Sean and I both have Dustsleeves from VGDS, so check those out. Make sure it's the best way to support our channels, because Chris does an amazing job getting those proceeds to the YouTube channels. Sean, tell us what you're working on, like what videos you got coming out, what you're working on, your Midwest stuff, right?
Yes, I gotta get my part 2 out, which is going to be my pickups, basically pickups, and just talking about more in-depth experience, because my first one was just like a little music video montage of my trip there. But yeah, the second one, I've got it mostly shot, just gotta edit it. Just life got crazy over here in the 8-bit glitch household, so had to take a little break for a little bit, but that will be coming up. And I've got a couple of VGM boxes, right? Oh, can't point there, and an RGT box I gotta open. By the time I get to that, I'll probably have 3 VGM boxes. It'll be a major unboxing video, 3 months worth. And hopefully I can do my Christmas specials again this year, the 12 Nostalgic Days of Christmas.
I forgot about
so I'm reaching out.
those.
Anybody who listening to this wants to do a segment for one of the episodes, let me know. Reach out to me, 8Bitglitch79 at gmail.com, or find me on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all under that name, 8Bitglitch79.
Yeah. Oh, and those 12 days of nostalgia are so much fun. I've been in part of both of them.
I believe so. Yeah.
So those are a lot of fun. Like, those are a lot of fun, sweet videos, and you get to see the best part of the YouTube retro and collecting video game communities, which is just all of us talking about what we love. Of course, I'm Bandana Gamer. I think you're on my channel right now if you're watching this video. I appreciate you watching. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. You'll be seeing me in the future, hopefully doing a few more unboxings. I've got a bunch of Dustsleeves I want to go through, because I got some awesome Dustsleeves from Chris that deserve a video. And I've got some... my VGM boxes, as we've talked about, have been piling up. And there's some other stuff I've been wanting to get to and get back to streaming now, as life is settling into a new normal. So that will do it for this episode. And of course, we want to be bringing you more Contravania, so hopefully you will see more of these in the near future. My friends, it has been a blast, and I hope you are all doing well, and we will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Peace, guys.